So each integer is a dharma. What does that mean? Each integer is a dharma. Looks like a multiplication table. Because 10 in the lower left corner times 10 in the upper right corner is 100. Hello, friends. I'm going to be studying a book known as the Bhagavad Gītā. Let's jump right in. This is by Nitya Chaitanya Yati. Well, these are the commentary. So we can see that the translator is his teacher, Nataraja Guru, 895 to 973. And here's the commentator, Nitya Chaitanya Yati. Okay. Okay, this is an old edition. So it looks kind of old and highlighted here and there. Notes jotted down. Maybe I'll get around to getting the new edition. Let's see. So the title is the Bhagavad Gītā. Notice the diacritical marks. A sublime hymn of yoga composed by the ancient seer Vyasa. Translated from Sanskrit by Nataraja Guru with explanatory dialogue by Nitya Chaitanya Yati. It's published by DK Print World Limited, New Delhi. So this, there's some more if you need to know. Yep. So the first publication was in 81. This one is the second edition, 1993. And to Nataraja Guru. Samjaya said, by the grace of Vyasa, I heard the supreme and most secret yoga spoken by Krishna himself, the Lord of Yoga, as immediately given to my senses. O King, as remember this marvelous and sacred dialogue between Keshava and Arjuna, I rejoice over and over again as I remember the most marvelous form of Hari. Great is my astonishment, O King, and I rejoice over and over again. Where there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, where there is Partha, the archer, there will be prosperity, victory, progress, and well-established justice. Such is my belief. That was that's from chapter, it looks like that's chapter 18. So that's kind of like the verse 75 to 78. That's pretty much close to the end of the book, I'd say. So here's the contents. You have a preface, a forward, guide to Sanskrit pronunciation, introduction to the Bhagavad Gītā, Gita Dhyanam, Arjuna, Visada Yoga, Samkhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Samnyasa Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Aksara Brahma Yoga, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga, Vibhuti Yoga, Visvarupa Darshana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Setrajna Vibhaga Yoga, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Purusottama Yoga, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Samnyasa Yoga. And there's the pages. And so the preface to the second edition. You see, 1970s, I was invited to teach the Bhagavad Gita in the United States at Portland State University and at the First Methodist Church in Portland, Oregon. At that time, my guru's Bhagavad Gita translation and commentary, which I had been relying heavily, was out of print. The need arose for me to give my own interpretation to my students who were growing in numbers. So I used my classes an opportunity to give a fresh commentary on the verses. I would never have ventured to do so if I had not had the privilege of being both initiated and guided by the Guru himself in the triple system of Brahma Sutras, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. In an original, easy-to-understand format, the commentary divides each of the Gita's 18 chapters into 3 sections. The first, elucidating the basic concepts involved. The second, including Sanskrit text in Roman script, along with the English meaning of each word or phrase, and Nataraja Guru's lucid and revolutionary English translation. The third carrying our explanatory notes and commentaries and comments that form an assumed dialogue between a teacher and a student. Okay, so the first edition, which appeared in 1981, was very well received by the public, and in a short time, the edition was sold out and has been unavailable for several years. There are several centers of the Gurukula around the globe, and others discerning readers have been putting pressure on me to bring out a new edition of my commentary. So DK Print World was kind enough to push me also. No, thus the publisher has agreed to do so. So, this is the immediate prompting for bringing out the present edition. Oh, our friends from the United States, Nancy Yelding and Scott Tatesworth, volunteered to help in getting another edition with their moral support, and I thought it a good augury to have a second edition. Nitya Chaitanya Yati. So, forward. Students of the Gita the world over will welcome the appearance of this commentary by Guru Nitya, a spiritual leader of the Narayana Gurukula movement. Nitya is the continuator of the Vedantin thought of Shankara. Narayana Guru and Nataraja Guru, however, he confounds any such organization, as does the present volume. Because of its character as a book of universal wisdom, the Gita can be used as the scriptural support for many doctrinal points of view, religious sects, philosophical schools of thought, and even social theory. Nitya's interpretation, however, is not in support of any school or doctrine whatever. The significant clue to his view of the Gita is found in the form he has chosen to give his commentary, that of a dialogue between teacher and student. The Gita itself is in the form of a samvada between Krishna and Arjuna. And in choosing the same structure for his comments, Nitya very clearly indicates his intention. His commentary is not directed to philosophers and scholars, but to every individual human being, regardless of culture, who ponders the nature of his own relation to the divine. Oh. Arjuna's purely human predicament on the battlefield of the Kurus is often viewed by philosophers as a mere fictional setting within which the lofty wisdom of the Gita is expounded. But in choosing such a setting, Vyasa unequivocably establishes the practical intention of the Gita. It is the human predicament which evokes the Gita, and it is the predicament of daily life that the Gita resolves. In his commentary, Nitya never loses sight of this orientation. The illuminative dialogue between teacher and student is the clear reflection of thousands of such dialogues between Nitya and his disciples all over the world, whether in India, Southeast Asia, Australia, Europe, or the Americas. His relationship with his students is always the same. He never preaches doctrine. He does not espouse particular philosophical views. He utterly eschews any appearance of authority. Always, he is the dear and compassionate friend, the humorous and unfailing guide in time of troubles. It is such a friend and guide that he appears here, not to philosophize but to help, not to pontificate but to clarify. This is not to say that the reader will find this commentary either popular or easy. Nitya's deep compassion is accompanied by a powerful and profound intellect. The reader will find his own intelligence and understanding challenged at every turn, but he will find his own efforts repaid 1,000-fold. In this volume, Guru Nitya has established a bridge between the divine wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and you, whoever you are, wherever you may be, whatever your condition. Accept this gift with gratitude and delight from a dear friend. Om Tat Sat. Vashon Island, USA. Don Berry. I don't know who Don Berry is. Maybe he helped put this book together. So let's go over the Sanskrit pronunciation. Pronounced like the U in but. Like the in far. Like the E in me, E. A longer sound, like the E in beat, E. Let's see if I can get the difference between these two. E, 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 E. Ah. Maybe I have to open up my mouth more. Ooh. 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 Ra. Ra. A. I. O. Ow. So the Sanskrit alphabet has a beautiful structure. As the Sanskrit alphabet distinguishes more sounds than English alphabet, it is useful to look at this structure to learn the correct pronunciation of the consonants. This will help to clarify the two main problems for English speaker: aspiration and the point of contact. Sparsha. For convenience, we will use the vowel ah, pronounced like the oo in but. Not ah, to make the consonants articulable syllables. So it's going to be read from left to right. Okay, here it goes. So we're going to go like this, and then we're going to go like that. But let's go like this first, so you know what kind of sounds we're going to make. G, ch, d, d, b, ya, sh, ha. But it actually goes this way. It's because they're very similar across. G, k, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ta, ta, da, da, nya, ta, ta, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, sa, ha. The difference between this one and this one, I'm not sure how to differentiate them. So I pronounce them pretty much the same. So the first 5 groups, the 5 consonants, are arranged by point of contact in the vocal apparatus. So the first 5 groups. So first rows, point of contact. So g, k, g, g, nga. You're producing these sounds in the far back, from way back. So I think that's called the palatal, right? Oh no, guttural. So think of in the back of, near the back of the throat, or go way back. Way back. How far back? If you stick your finger down your throat and touch as far back as you could, maybe that's where you would pronounce these sounds. Ka, ka, ga. Well, you can feel it. What are you touching when you pronounce ga or ga? Almost the same place. And then you go like that for the rest of the groups. So there's the cha group. So it's cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. I think it's I think it's nya. This is nga, and this is yes, nya, like the Spanish nya in mañana. And this is, it's kind of like a regular N, na. Although it's got a dot there, so there's a difference between this one and that one, but it's slight. So that's the ta, ta, da, da, na. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Maybe this was more dental. Maybe this was more at the roof of the mouth. I'm not sure. Then there's ba, pa, ba, ba, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, sa, ha. Okay. So and this explains it more. But I'm going to skip this. I'll practice later on. So let's go to the introduction to the Gītā. Teacher. The teacher says to the student, "Let me introduce the Gītā to you." The student says, "What is the Gītā? Do you know the Mahabharata?" I suppose Bharatam is the Sanskrit name of India. What is Mahabharata? Maha means great. Mahabharata is Greater India. In ancient days, the term Mahabharata referred to a state of mind or a culture that was lived not within the limits of the political or geographical unit called India. It covered a vast area stretching from the Pacific Ocean in the far east to the Mediterranean in the west, in which region the Hindu Buddhistic culture exerted a great influence in the arts, literature, and socio-political thought, although politically it was never under a single monarch at any time. Our reference, however, is not to that greater India, but to an epic called the Mahabharata, which reflects the life and ideas of the people who lived in India around 1000 BC. It's not the usual story of a single hero and a few other characters. It's a great saga, singing the heroic deeds and thoughts of hundreds of heroes and heroines, and highlighting all aspects of human life. The Mahabharata does not treat any human value as irrelevant or insignificant. It is in its composition there are themes both beautiful and ugly. It contains side-splitting comedies as well as blood-curdling tragedies. In fact, nothing of the rich legacy of India's ancient tradition is left out of this great epic. We can easily call it an encyclopedia of psychological types and a compendium of Upanishadic thoughts and ideals. Who wrote this epic? It is believed that Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa composed the Mahabharata. There are other great works attributed to Vyasa, such as the Vedanta Sutras and the Patanjaya. Is that an E or an L? Patanjala Sutra Vyasa. We do not know whether both these Vyasas are the same person. Like the term Pope, names such as Vyasa, Vyasishta, Narada, and Kasyapa, often mentioned in the archaic literature of India, were not personal names but spiritual appellations vested on the succeeding heads of the respective hierarchies. Therefore, we cannot say whether the Mahabharata and other works were written by the same Vyasa or a number of Vyasas. All that we can surmise is that it was written by a certain Vyasa. The name Vyasa literally means a compiler or editor. So how is Vyasa related to the Gītā? In Vyasa's Mahabharata, there's a section called Bhishma Parva. In it, there is a subsection consisting of 700 verses, beginning with verse 830. This subsection is called the Bhagavad Gītā. Bhishma Parva is the section where the Gītā starts with verse 830. So I guess that's the students in the italics and the teacher in the regular print. I must have missed that. Yeah, the student is in italics and the teacher is the one in regular print. So the student asks, what is the Gītā? And the teacher answers back with a, do you know the Mahabharata? And then the student says, I suppose Bharatam is the Sanskrit name of India. So what is Mahabharata? Okay, so the teacher says Maha means great. Mahabharata is Greater India. In ancient days, the term Mahabharata referred to a state of mind or a culture that was lived not within the limits of political and geographical unit called India. It covered a vast area stretching from the Pacific Islands, the Far East, to the Mediterranean in the West, in which region the Hindu-Buddhistic culture exerted a great influence in the arts, literature, and social-political thought. Although politically, it was never under a single monarch at any time. A reference, however, is not to that greater India, but to an epic called the Mahabharata, which reflects the life and ideals of the people who lived in India around 1000 BC. It is not the usual story of a single hero and a few other characters. It is a great saga, singing the heroic deeds and thoughts of hundreds of heroes and heroines, and highlighting all aspects of human life. The Mahabharata does not treat any human value as irrelevant or insignificant. In its composition, there are themes both beautiful and ugly, contains side-splitting comedies as well as blood-curdling tragedies. In fact, nothing of the rich legacy of India's ancient tradition is left out of this great epic. We can easily call it an encyclopedia of psychological types and a compendium of Upanishadic thoughts and ideals. Who wrote this epic? Says the student. It is believed, the teacher says, it is believed that Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa composed the Mahabharata. There are other great works attributed to Vyasa, such as the Vedanta Sutras and the Patanjala Sutra Vyasa. We do not know whether both these Vyasas are the same person, like the term Pope. Names such as Vyasa, Vasista, Narada, and Kasyapa, often mentioned in the archaic literature of India, were not persons' named but spiritual appellations vested on the succeeding heads of the respective hierarchies. Therefore, we cannot say whether the Mahabharata and other works were written by the same Vyasa or a number of Vyasas. All we can surmise is that it was written by a certain Vyasa. The name Vyasa literally means a compiler or editor. How is Vyasa related to the Gītā? Asks the student. In Vyasa's Mahabharata, replies the teacher, there is a section called Bhishma Parva. In it, there is a subsection consisting of 700 verses, beginning with verse 830. This subsection is called the Bhagavad Gītā. Bhishma Parva. I know that Gītā means a song and Bhagavan means the Lord. Is the Bhagavad Gītā a musical composition of the Lord? That's what the student asks. Because the word Gītā means song and Bhagavan means Lord. So maybe it's the song of the Lord or a musical. Let's see. No, it is called a song in a very special sense. The spiritual quest of man can bring him great agony. If in his plight of anguish he turns to the Gītā, he can derive from it consolation and solace, and he will have the feeling that he is listening to a divine song straight from the lips of the Lord himself. Only in that sense is the Gītā called the Song of the Lord. The Gītā is a song in the sense in which Plato means the rapture of higher intuition. By his expression, the hymn of the dialectics. The hymn of the dialectics. When a man does not know what his innate tendencies are, what his natural talents are, and what his basic drive is, he is likely to miss his mark in life. For such a person, the rediscovery of his true self brings him a joy he has never experienced before. The Gītā helps one to rediscover his real self. So he will naturally look upon it as a song of songs, as well as a book of books. Let's stop right here. I should use a pencil, but I never seem to have pencils around me anymore. I use the phone so much for everything, and I don't carry a pencil. And I should. So we'll continue this fascinating reading of the Bhagavad Gītā, and I just stopped in the middle of the introduction. It is getting very interesting, and the introduction is quite long. And so I can't wait to get to the first part of the Gītā. The Gītā Dhyanam is the way it's called. Meditation on the Gītā. But right now I stopped at page 2, which is not much, is it? That I've read. Hope you like this. This is Jamyang Powell saying until next time, stay tuned. I'm going to continue from there, reading the introduction to the Bhagavad Gītā. May it benefit you and all sentient beings.